everybody. Where you at? It is Friday. Good morning. Let's get this quiet time, man. Let's do some shout outs. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. How are we doing today? We starting another type of feed here. So let me know if everything's good out there. You hear me very well. Right? Come on, guys. Where you at? Let's do this. Let's have a great time. It's Friday. It's Friday. All right. Need to get some shout outs. See who's here with me this morning. All right. Good morning. Are you here? Are you guys up? I'm waiting on you. I'm waiting to say good morning. Yes, I am. I'm still waiting on you. Good morning. Where my faithful followers? Am I just not seeing you? Okay, I'm still waiting. I'm looking. Good morning. I see. Okay, I'm getting it now. I'm getting it. All right. Good morning. Hi, Lorena. Morning. You guys hear me loud, clear. Very good, very good, very good. Today's going to be a good one, you guys. I think every day's been good, huh? Appreciate you guys getting up in the morning with me to have a quiet time. Hi, Miss Thea. Good morning. Morning from Los Angeles. Morning, morning. Hi. Good to have you guys. Melina, happy Friday. That's right. Happy Friday. Time for a great weekend. Weekend with the Lord still, right? Every day. This is Friday. Hi, Ariel. Good morning. Good to see you again. Good morning, buddy. Hopefully this is going to go all the way through very well. Hi, Miss Renee. Morning, morning. Let me know, okay, how the feed's going, because we're trying something different today. I think it should be very well, right? So we won't have no interruptions today, okay? Good morning, Miss Juliet, right here in Atlanta. Those of you who are doing watch parties, my name is Tracy Harding. I'm right here in Atlanta, Georgia. For about over a year now. Team came here, me and my husband, and a team of us from different parts of the states. Let's see, Florida, New York, Orlando, Florida, Miami, Florida, Boston. Okay. All right, you guys. All right, hello, Miss Shayna, right here in Atlanta. Right here next door, Conyers. That's good morning. I hope I don't miss nobody. It's good to see you guys. It's going to be a great one today. If you got children, this quiet time is for you. So get your friends. If you got some moms out there, single moms, you better get them on this quiet time, like rounds. Send them a text, because this is going to be a good one. Parties, come on. All right, Shane. All right, you guys. It's going to be a good one. It's Friday. Hope you got your music going as you hear. Your first time with me, we set it up. Quiet time. Got my candles, got my Bible, got my notebook. Got my book. It's called 30 Days at the Foot of the Cross. And we on number 20 today. So if this is your first time with me, you're going to have to go back. Got some great stuff in there. You do not want to miss it. Mistreatment, but not misery. Lasting impact was yesterday. Got a lot of great stuff. The wisdom and power of God. Always remember the supper, number 6. To the future, number 5. Talking about baptism. Number 4, which is probably one of the biggest ones, the free forgiveness. If you have not listened to that, I would advise you go listen to that one. It keeps on cleansing. That's another great. Number 3, the blood of Christ. Feel the pain. That was probably the number 2, hating sin. You have a problem with sin? You don't hate it? Go to that chapter. I think you'll hate it after you finish reading that one. All right. Good morning, you guys. I'm so excited. Robin. Hi, Robin. Vicky, watching my girls here in Atlanta. Part of my fellowship are here this morning. Good morning, you guys. Hi, Kendra and Jude, Shane. Okay, Jude. Okay, I see what you're saying. Good morning, Vicky. All right, Melina. Morning. You guys got your notebooks? Are we ready to start? What time is it? 11:05. I'm trying to let the people come on in because they're a little late. We started at 11, right, guys? All right. Sandy, good morning, Sandy. It is a little after 8 a.m. on the West Coast, but that's okay. They should be okay. I don't know what time everybody's at. Good morning, Peggy. Good morning. All right. I know people are tuning in from all over the world. Let us know what time it is in your space. Good morning, Tish. Alicia Prescott. Good morning from Los Angeles. All right, Ramona, I'm ready. Okay, I'm ready too. So why don't we go ahead and let's hit in silence. I'm gonna silence my phone, my music. If I can find it. Where is it? There it is. All right, you guys. Let's this quiet time going. All right, Lorena, you got your, okay, check. She got her, you got this, your markers. Bible, notebook. We got our book that we are doing today for a quiet time. All right, you guys, I am ready. The title is, all right, I'm trying to wait for people, but we got to get going. It's Friday. It's time to have a great weekend. Not for adults only. Not for adults only. Tag in the family. In the family. So for you guys who are like newly parents, this is good for you. I have 2 boys, but my boys are like adults now. 21 and 19. So this chapter had to take me back, but I still have my babies, even today. Right, guys? Okay, not for adults only. Listen up, moms. John 19, our very first scripture, John 19, 25 through 27. And don't check because you might go, oh, this is not for me. But you know what? One day you're going to have your children. But you do have your family, right? So it's not just for our church, our family. Okay, here we go. John 19, 25 through 27. Near the cross of Jesus stood his mother. When Jesus saw his mother there, and the disciples whom he loved standing nearby, he said to his mother, "Dear woman, here is your son." And the disciple, "Here is your mother." From that time on, this disciple took her into his home. What a heart-wrenching scene. This is for Mary as she watches. Put yourself in her shoes. At the foot of this cross on which her son Jesus is being crucified. And I have 2 boys, so I'm trying to put myself there, but it's hard, right? Feel her overwhelming sorrow, her grief, her anguish. Perhaps she was reminded of Simeon's words spoken some 33 years earlier when she presented her newborn to him. A sword will pierce your own soul too. The old priest had said in Luke 2, you can go back and read that, Luke 2:5. Imagine your firstborn son. Yeah, I can imagine my firstborn. A precious gift from God. Being tortured this way. Feel the pain, devastation, perhaps even the despair she might have been feeling. I definitely understand that pain. So imagine it, your first son, precious gift from God. However, even from the cross, Jesus shows his concern for his mother. That had to help. But why didn't he protect her? Now, this is an interesting question that he says, or she said. But why didn't he protect her from the whole experience? Why didn't he use his power to make sure she wouldn't have to see such things and feel such pain? Why didn't Jesus protect his mom? Not only was Jesus willing to go through the heartbreaking experience of the cross, but he was willing to let his mother go through it with him. Why? Because his mother, like the rest of the world, needed to be saved. Why? He let her go through this with him because he knew that she needed to be saved. Because his mother, like all of us, needed to understand the high cost of salvation. The high cost of salvation. His mom, the family, needed to understand that, the high cost. Because his mother, as a disciple of Jesus, needed to understand how far we all must be willing to go for the salvation of others. As a disciple, needed to understand how far we all must be willing to go for the salvation of others. It's a pretty deep one, you guys. Jesus and Mary's relationship reminds us that no relationship is an end in itself. And no relationship is exempt from the cost of discipleship. No relationship, is exempt from the cost of discipleship. Such bonds are special, right? I know I love my boys. They're special. They bring good feelings to heart, right? You think about those close relationships. And my husband, my boys. I remember my close with my mom. But we must never forget that they always have a higher purpose. Those relationships always have a higher purpose. A higher purpose. From the mystery of the virgin birth to that brutal scene in Calvary, God was at work in the relationship to accomplish his purpose. Once through the crucifixion, Mary will be a woman with her convictions. Come on, Mary. Through the crucifixion, Mary would be a woman with deeper convictions. with a profound understanding of what it means to always carry around in our bodies the death of Jesus. 2 Corinthians 4, verse 10. Mary, deep convictions with a profound understanding of what it means to always carry around in our bodies the death of Jesus. At the foot of the cross, we learn a vital lesson. Listen to this. Here's our lesson. Families are for God. Families are for God. My boys are for my husband are for God. Yes. At the cross, Jesus and his mother teaches us that the ultimate goal for our families must not be educational skills, athletic achievement. Are you listening? It should not be. Okay. At the cross, Jesus and his mother teaches us that the ultimate goal for our families must not be educational skills, athletic achievements, or worldly happiness. This is what it is. Now, I know this is a woman writing this chapter, but we're going to read some scriptures, but I appreciate her heart. At the cross, Jesus and his mother teaches us that the ultimate goal, and I understand that more as I have my children and as they're getting older, right? What is my goal for them? It's not an educational skills, athletic achievement, or worldly happiness, but an eternal relationship with God. Because we know out there that world is so full of darkness, and it's getting worse every day, and that we want them to love God and have an eternal relationship with God. The cross calls us to lay down our lives. Sisters, the cross calls us to lay down our lives so our husbands, I don't know if there's any brothers on here, our wives, our children will not only be saved, but will learn to lay down their lives so that others might spend eternity with God. So it's not just enough to just make sure that our families are saved, but that they are helping others be saved too. Now, I love what she says here. Being a Christian parent doesn't mean you try to spare your children the cross. Doesn't mean, as a Christian parent, doesn't mean you try to spare your children the cross. This you know, if I had this more when I was, when my babies were like 5 and 6, right? Because I think so many times I've tried to spare them. Doesn't mean you try to spare your children the cross. It means you show them, listen to this. It means you show them how to get on it. Doesn't mean you try to spare the children the cross, but you show them how to get on it. Get on it. Who will get on the cross? Do you teach your children that God has a plan for their lives? Do you have devotionals with them? If you have little ones, do they see you sacrifice to bring them salvation? Do they see you sacrificing on the phone, going to a Bible study, right? Praying with someone, crying because you're trying to get your heart where it needs to be for God? Do they see you sacrifice to bring them to salvation? Do they see you sacrifice your time, your worldly desires, your money, your sleep, all for the lost? Because you know our children, they want all our time. Just like last night we were watching this movie with my son. He's 21, so he doesn't stop. And my husband's getting a call. I'm getting a call, and he's like, "What are y'all doing? Get off the phone. Get the phone. There you go." Like, calm down. This is what we do, honey. We will get back to, just let us answer our call, and we will get to focus on you. 21. If they can have it, they'll take it. Some time ago, this is what she said. Some time ago, I had an unavoidable schedule. And this is interesting because I'm thinking about it last night. But she said she had an unavoidable schedule, 2 Bible studies with non-Christians during the time I usually spend with my kids. Have you ever had that? You know you're supposed to be with your kids, but you're being called to go and be in a Bible study and help someone who's lost. She said, before I left them with a babysitter. Okay, so I have to say this because we're reading it. Okay, thank you, God. When I had my little ones, me and Ron decided that we were not going to let people babysit our kids. And we sacrificed a lot so I can stay home and for him to work. And this is before we went into ministry. And so we were very fortunate that we didn't have to have babysitters, except there's mom, of course, right? And things like that. So but she left them with a babysitter. And I understand that a lot of us, even today, have to leave our children with babysitters. But just remember, I know it's hard. Because she even says, I apologize to them for this. Both my son and my daughter, they're like 9 and 8 at the time. And the kids said, and it's funny because they have such great hearts. The kids, oh, that's okay, Mom. Right? We know you're doing it for God. They're watching. The children are watching. Are you teaching them what sacrifice is? And that's what you're doing. We're sacrificing. I mean, how many times have I moved with my children? Even in their school, my sons could tell you, they've had so many different schools, so many different friends within, I think we might have moved twice a year. But it was a lot of sacrificing, right? To go lead a church in Portland, to go to DC, to go back to Los Angeles, to come here now to Atlanta. So we've moved a lot. Moved to Portland, Oregon when they were like 6 years old. A lot of moving, right? So I get she's saying, right? Feeling like, oh my gosh. Haven't felt so guilty and torn, right? I know we feel that way, ladies. Torn. She said, and then had tears in her eyes. I remember when I went to Portland, Oregon, I was a stay-home mom. Now I'm leading the church. And I remember, I can feel her. I remember going to Bible studies, and I'm not with my babies. Thank God Ron was, but still, it was different, right? And I remember just like feeling that. Driving home, tears. I'm just crying because I missed my babies. But I tell you what, when I got home, they got undivided attention, right? But I knew I was doing it for God, though. Right? So I understand feeling guilty and torn. My babies. But I had to remember they're not my babies. They're God's babies, right? As parents, it is often much harder to teach or to call our children to sacrifice Then it is to call ourselves to sacrifice, right? Do you teach your children to sacrifice? Are you willing to let them be sacrificial? That's a good question. Are they learning from Jesus how valuable this quality is and how right it is for all of us to be sacrificial? And I remember when my husband was making a lot of money and I was that stay-home mom, and my boys got whatever they wanted, motorcycles, everything, right? Clothes, whatever they wanted, games, pool in the backyard, just all these things. And once we decided to go save our souls, they were like, where's the game, Mom? Are you going to be the buy? I'm like, no, honey, we're sacrificing right now because we're trying. They might not understand in the moment, but they will. At some point, they will understand why we are sacrificing our worldly desires. Whoa. Okay. Are you teaching your kids to sacrifice their worldly desire to retaliate when other kids tease, taunt, or even bully them? Kids can be so cruel. Each children has already experienced, she says, the pain of a best friend suddenly turning on them. I'm going to tell you, I remember this when you go back and you think about it, right? Especially us who have older children now, but to think about what our kids went through. Did we teach them well? Because how are they today, right? But I remember when my son came home, and I'm like, what are you doing home? And he says, Mom, I can't do it anymore. I'm being bullied at school. And I remember my husband says, are you going to go back to school? No, you're not going to stay home. We're going to go back to school, and we're going to go find out what's going on. We can talk about it. And when he came home, wow, what a different spirit my son had. But it gave us an opportunity to continue to help him, to teach him, right? And we teach them today. They have endured the unceasing sarcasm, the unkind words about what they look like. Think about what your children's gone through. What do you do when those situations happen? She says, Dan and I had to wrestle through our initial reaction, right? Because you want to go, I want to go down there and go, what in the world? You want to go down there and fight for your children. A worldly reaction to what you want to protect your kids, right? Our immediate response to the pain our children feel when things happen to them in the world is that we want to protect them from it. It's hard as we watching them go through darkness. We want to rush to school and speak to the mean kids, or even to teach our kids hurtful responses to say back to their mentors, to tormentors. This is what she's sharing, right? Don't we want to retaliate? Do you struggle with wanting your kids to get back at or get even with a bully? In my case, my son, he was being bullied a lot by girls. Different, huh? Or are you teaching them that Jesus taught us, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, pray for those who mistreat you? Do we teach these? I don't think the first thing I think of is the scripture back in those times. But I think looking back, these type of scriptures has really helped us through those trying times. Staying close to God, stay in His Word, have devotionals with our children, pray with them. Are you praying? Look, she says it right here. Are you praying with your children to love the people who are mean to them or hurt them? Are we praying with the children? Are you always looking to Jesus' example? What would Jesus do? And I've been through a lot with my children to have to keep my heart soft, forgiving, and to not only for me, because when you see your children hurting, you want to hurt too, right? And you want to respond in an unrighteous way. But they look to us to be a great example of how to handle those situations. And I remember when things happened with my older son, and I remember him being assaulted and how we had to go before the news and just watching my husband share scriptures in front of the media about we don't hate her, the person that insulted the son, but that we forgive her. Gotta pray. Are you teaching your children to care about even the souls of their enemies? You gotta pray for the souls of those enemies. Are you praying for those people who have hurt your children, those poor little children who don't know any better? You gotta pray for your enemies. Are you teaching your kids? I know it's gonna be a tough one. Because we talk about our children, right? Because they're special. Yes, they are. Okay. Are you teaching your kids to sacrifice their sleep sometimes for God? And be happy, joyful, and obedient, even when tired? Are you teaching your kids that? Just through your life, are you happy? Do they see joy when you serve God, or do they see you looking depressed? Are you teaching your kids to sacrifice their sleep sometimes for God and be happy, joyful, and obedient even when tired? Because sometimes we are late, aren't we? There are meetings. It could be 9 p.m. Our kids are with us at times, and they need to be happy. We need to teach them. And you can do it at home, devotionals, and show them. If it's late, my sweeties, how are we going to act in front of people? I know when you're tired, we're going to sit here and throw a tantrum, okay? You got to teach them, okay? Are you teaching them? Are you allowing or even encouraging them to give in to their worldly desire, to crave comfort, to be inflexible, or to be grouchy? You hear this? I just said it. Or be grouchy when you're tired. Are you allowing or even encouraging them to give in to their worldly desire? No, Mom. I just want to go home. I don't want to be here. I don't want to go. I want to go play with Susie. No, as parents, we are compelled because of the cross to be sacrificial ourselves. How are we doing as parents? Especially right now, it's easier to go and do nothing, right? But I love, even with one of the couples in our fellowship, Zico and Judy, they're doing these they're doing these like time, family times where they're doing little things for children, what they do with the kids, and it's been great to watch them, all the creative ways that they're doing family time with their children. And they also got Stephanie, she's here. Stephanie, Mommy and Me, she has that on Saturdays at 11. So precious, her and Lily, just out there helping women, right? Moms. She has a 2-year-old. It's so great to watch her. As parents, are we compelled because of the cross to be sacrificial ourselves and to call our children to be sacrificial? To watch our children sacrifice for God can be painful, right? but it is a lesson they must learn. It's a lesson they learn. We have been entrusted with the very souls of our children. We've been entrusted with the very souls of our children. And though a sword may pierce our own souls, let us keep focused on the cross. To the world, it is foolishness, but to us who are being saved, it is the power of God. The power of God. We must be sacrificial parents so that our children can be sacrificial. All right, you guys, let's look at scriptures. Okay, let's get in the word. We need some examples in the word, okay, to help us. And I know that was a great chapter, but I need some word right now. Okay, let's go to Genesis 22. And I know it's hard. I got my son, even still, they're 21 and 19. And it's still hard to let go. But I'm understanding more as I'm even doing this quiet time today. Gotta let them go. They're not mine. They're God's, right? Okay, Genesis 22. We know this story. Abraham tested. 22 verse 1. Let's go. Let's read this. Sometime later, God tested Abraham. He said to him, Abraham, here I am, he replied. Then God said, take your son, your only son, Isaac, whom you love. You know we love our children, right? And go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains I will tell you about. What? Early the next morning, Abraham got up and saddled his donkey. I wanted to do also with God that night. Early the next morning, Abraham got up and saddled his donkey. He took with him 2 of his servants and his son Isaac. When he had cut enough wood for the burnt offering, he set out for the place God had told about. On the 3rd day, so he had a few days up there, Abraham looked up and saw the place in the distance. He said to his servants, stay here with the donkey. Don't that sound like in the Garden of Gethsemane with Jesus and his friends? He says, stay here, I'll go over there and pray. Keep watch. He said to his servants, stay with the donkey while I and the boy go over there. We will worship and they will come back to you. Abraham took the wood for the burnt offering and put it on his son Isaac. And he himself carried the fire and the knife. As the 2 of them went on together, Isaac spoke up and said to his father, Abraham, father. Yes, my son. The fire and wood here, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? Abraham answered, God himself provides a lamb for the burnt offering, my son. And the two of them went on together. I read this and it just moves me. He's so pure in his son. Abraham is so obedient to God. When they reached the place God had told him about, Abraham built an altar there and arranged the wood on it. He bound his son Isaac, laid him on the altar on the top of the wood. Then he reached out his hand and took the knife to slay his son. But the angel of the Lord called out to him from heaven, "Wow. Abraham, Abraham, here I am. Do not lay a hand on the boy. Do not do anything to him. Now I know that you fear God, because you have not withheld from me your son, your own son." We got to let him go. Are you being tested right now? Abraham looked up, and there in the thicket he saw a ram caught by its horns. He went over and took the ram and sacrificed it as a burnt offering instead of his son. So Abraham called that place, "The Lord will provide." And to this day it is said, "On the mount of the Lord it will be provided." The angel Lord called to Abraham from heaven a second time, and he said, "I swear by myself," this is the Lord talking to Abraham, wow, "because you've done this and have not withheld your son, your only son, I will surely bless you and make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and as the sand on the seashore. Your descendants will take possession of the cities of their enemies, and through your offspring, all nations on earth will be blessed because you have obeyed me." Then Abraham returned to his servants, and they set off together for Sheba, and Abraham stayed in Beersheba. Don't you want that blessing? I know I want that blessing, but I'll be trying to keep my boys. I'm so convicted. But I have to have a heart and faith like Abraham, right? God just wants to test me. He's testing me. I know he's testing us. Come on, women, with our children. But here's an example for us, right? Here's the best example here. "Because you have obeyed me." Wow. All right, enough crying. Okay, couple more. Deuteronomy 6. Deuteronomy 6. I knew this one was going to be hard because we're talking about our children. They're dear and precious to our hearts. And God knows that, but they're way more precious to God than us. And we have a job to do. Okay, Deuteronomy 6, 1 through 9. Listen to this. These are the commands, Deuteronomy 6, 1 through 9. These are the commands, decrees, and laws the Lord your God directed me to teach you, to observe in the land that you are crossing the Jordan to possess. This is God giving all these commands for Moses to pass to people, so that you and your children and the children after them may fear the Lord your God as long as you live, by keeping all his decrees and commands that I give you, and so that you may enjoy life. Enjoy. If you're not enjoying life, then that means you're holding back, right? "Hear, O Israel, be careful to obey, so that it may go well with you, so that you may increase greatly in a land flowing milk and honey, just as the Lord, the God of your fathers, promised you." Here we go, another promise from the Lord, right? "Hear, O Israel, The Lord your God, the Lord is one. Love the Lord your God with all your soul, with all your strength. These commandments that I give you today are to be upon your hearts. Listen to this part. Impress them on your children. Talk about it with them when you sit at home, when you walk along the road, when you lie down, and when you get up. That's from God. This command. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down, when you get up. Tie them as symbols on your hands and bind them on your foreheads. Write them on the door frames of your houses and on your gates. That's our God. Are we teaching our children, or are we protecting them from? We're not, right? That's one thing I got to realize. I'm God. We have a role when it comes to our children, right? We have to impress them on our children. I wish my mom done those things for me. She tried when I was a little. She did her best, but what are we doing, right? Okay, couple more, you guys. I know it's getting late. Yes. Matthew 19. Let's go to Matthew. Let's go into the New Testament. Let's go and see what Jesus says, right? Matthew 19. Matthew 19. It's great to see you guys commenting. Matthew 19:13. All right. Then little children were brought to Jesus, Matthew 19:13, for him to place his hands on them and pray for them. But the disciples rebuked those who brought them. Jesus said, let the little children come to me and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these. Sometimes I always have to say, we got to get back to that childlike heart, right? Let the little children come to me and do not hinder them. Let's hinder them. Let's help them more and more, even today. And then the last one, Luke 2. Go to Luke 2, guys. Go read these. Go back and go in commentaries and go deeper, okay? Luke 2, last scripture, 41. Luke 2:41. Every year his parents, so look at the example of Jesus and his parents. Every year his parents went to Jerusalem for the feast of the Passover. When he was 12, Jesus was 12 years old. They went up to the feast according to the custom. After the feast was over, while his parents were returning home, the boy, Jesus, stayed behind in Jerusalem, 12 years old. But they were unaware of it. How can you be unaware your child is gone? But it happened. Thinking he was in their company, they traveled on for a day. They began looking for him. That's good. Looking among their relatives and friends. When they did not find him, they went back to Jerusalem to look for him. At least they knew where to go. Let's go to Jerusalem. I think we know where he's at. After 3 days. I was thinking when I read this early this morning, yesterday, remember how we had that Amber Alert? I said, that was Jesus. We're looking for Jesus. Where you at? No, Amber Alert. 3 days looking for Jesus. Sitting among the teachers. There he was, sitting among the teachers, listening to them and asking them questions. Everyone who heard him was amazed at his understanding and his answers. When his parents saw him, they were astonished. His mother said to him, son, why have you done like this? Your father and I have been anxiously searching for you. Why were you searching for me? He asked. Didn't know. Listen to this, guy. Didn't you know I had to be in my father's house? 12 years old. Don't be keeping your kids in the house. They want to know God. They want around the Christians, the saints. They want to know what it's like sacrifice. 12 years old. Look at Jesus. Didn't you know I had to be in my father's house? But they did not understand what he was saying to them. Then he went down to Nazareth with them and was obedient to them. But his mother treasured, listen, but his mother treasured all these things in her heart. And Jesus grew. Listen, you want your son to grow up like this. And Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man. And I'm sorry, I have got to talk about my son Dylan, because my baby Dylan, I have watched him from 16 years old, even though I moved him, sacrificed so much. And even though he was mad at us once upon a time. And I remember when we had our 10-year anniversary, and I took Dylan and Devin, and I see all these people. It's because of you, our sacrifice. That's why all these people are here. And he said he'll never forget when I showed him all the people at the 10-year anniversary in Los Angeles. That's why mommy and daddy moved and sacrificed and moved you. And I thank you for allowing us to be able to be a part of that sacrifice. And these people are here because of you. And now look at him. And it's hard to let him go, but he's in Los Angeles without me, without my husband. And he has grown so much in his wisdom and stature, in favor with God and men. And even though I'm treasuring it in my heart, it's hard because I want him with me. But from looking at this today, he's right where he needs to be. He's right where he needs to be. So I pray, guys, that this really helped you today when it comes to our children. Be great examples. Be parents. What's our goal with our children? Eternal, right? I'm grateful. And I know my older son, he was in the fold. That's okay. He'll come back because I'm praying for him and I'm being that example for him. He'll find his way back. Be great examples. Love them. They will continue to see our sacrifices, right? They will lead our lives. Not only for my family, but for the lost. Because at the end of the day, they don't belong to me. They are God's. Our family is God's. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being with me in my emotional time today. That's what it does, right? It really moves. It cuts. Let's say a prayer. We're going to end our time with prayer. And I want to say I love you guys. Pray. God, thank you so much for this time, God. Thank you to be able to remember what you've done for us, to give us your word, to look at different men and women in the Bible, God, who sacrificed it all for you, God. Abraham, who just went up to the mountain with his son, his only son, God, so that he can be tested by you, and he passed the test. I pray that I will pass the test always. Thank you for my sisters with me. I pray that this lesson, this quiet time, really help them if they're being very protective of their children, that they will see, God, that they don't belong to us, they belong to you, and that we need to impress upon them to love you with all their hearts, to follow you. Thank you for all you do. Be with us this weekend. I pray if anyone needs any help, that they will call me, message me, God. I can continue to move them, help them learn how to not only love you, but help children love you, God. Thank you for all you do in your son's name. Amen. And I pray, listen, if you don't have anywhere to go this Sunday, please join us. We're doing another virtual. ATLICC.org. We have our virtual Sunday at 11 o'clock, okay? We'd love to have you as well. Go to my YouTube page. It's up there on top of this feed. And you can go back and listen as much as you want. Go back to day 1 if you like. We're on day 20. And when we come back on Monday, it's going to be really good. The whole rest of the week is about knowing God. All right. I love you guys. Have an awesome day. Be safe. Be wise. I'll be praying for your families and you. Love you guys. Bye.